So I just want to clarify the topic of the evening is regarding sperm donations, but it's DIY style. These men are not going to donate per se at a clinic or anything of that. It is finding or women finding them on different communities, Facebook posts, so on and so forth, in order to find their donor. So, with that being the topic, I want to go ahead and start with kind of an opening statement from everybody, introduce and
Well, my opening statement's super simple. Hunglo Wang, you're a fucking degenerate and a man prostitute, essentially, and you're engaging in prostitution. There's no way you're not engaging in prostitution, and you're leaving behind a bunch of single mothers, oftentimes lesbians. A terrible outcome for your children, which in my book makes you a fucking scumbag. And I can't wait to dive into this debate.
Well, let me begin by giving you a little background. I never
There we go.
intended to get myself into to any of this. When I was in college, I got a job working for a Chippendale subcontractor up near Washington, D.C. I was in business school, and I was just trying to pay my tuition. So first, our manager sold us off as models. I think we did like the Pride Parade one year, stuff like that. And then it turned into birthday parties, bachelorette parties, and more and more and more, our clientele was typically lesbian women. And to me, I didn't understand why. I was young. I was, 18, 19, 20 years old. But now I can kind of look back on it 20 years ago and say, all right, so that was the market
What
back
a
then.
prattling
The market
fucking
today is
degen, dude.
either the IVF clinics or, a
I hope he
combination
hurries
of
up.
Facebook and various websites like the Known Donor Registry. If you go the IVF route, there's no possibility for the child to ever meet the father. The other routes, it's possible. For some reason, a lot of the women don't prefer that, but if, the child ever wants the option to meet the father, the IVF clinics in the United States don't offer that. I think in maybe Australia that's a possibility, but that's issue complaint number one amongst donor conceived persons. They get a little older, usually around age 5, the child starts asking about the father, and then by the time they're a teenager and an adult, they really want to know the other half of their background. Brothers, sisters, extended family. Not that they even want to know about the father, but they want to know about the family, the medical history. So I suppose in the donor realm, you've got opportunities that do not exist when we're dealing with
God.
IVF clinics or the cryo industry.
Can somebody please send me in some fucking cash so I can order a pillow,
all right. And
a
Kat,
nice
I'll leave
pillow
it to
so I
you.
can sleep? Gonna dive right into this. So, Mr. Hunglo, how many children do you have total?
In the United States, that number is around a dozen. I try not
Just
to give an
total.
exact
Just
number,
total. How many do you have
but
total?
the rumor I'm getting out of the research firm in Hong Kong is 400.
Yeah. So
So you just
what's the total
paid for
though?
them.
Like roughly the total.
I don't have the ability to confirm that number in Asia because I'm dealing with multiple fertility corporations in Asia across multiple countries. Japan, Korea, China, Singapore. I can't give you an exact number.
Could it be okay? Can you give me a range?
The last information I got out of Hong Kong was they had estimated 400 DNA matches.
Okay, so at least 400 is what you assume at this point safely.
That's the number they're touting in Asia. They've called me the Barbarian.
Okay, gotcha. So, quick couple of follow-ups. Do you give a shit about any of these kids at all?
Absolutely, absolutely. I actually got a contact about 2 years ago from a teenage daughter in Japan, and since then I've reached out in an attempt to expand real estate operations in Japan, try to get Redfin and Zillow into the Japanese market. So, maybe I could give my daughter a future in real estate in Hokkaido, managing real estate sales and marketing for U.S. firms like Zillow and Redfin. That was the idea. But yeah, I absolutely do care.
You do care about them. And how many of these children ended up in single mother households?
In the United States, I've currently got that issue with 2 out of about a dozen, and it's something I've spoken with these women about indefinitely. The average divorce on the lesbian divorces appears to be about 7 years. When the child hits age 5, they start asking for the father, and that's a roadblock in the relationship that
And how do you intervene on that? What is the intervention that you do when you find out that your kid is being raised by a single mom?
I maintain contact.
You maintain contact?
Yeah.
So really, like both of these kids' names?
Yeah, all of my children in the U.S. get to see me and talk to me whenever they want. That's why the number's about a dozen.
You don't want to pay for them, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Oh, got it.
Right. So you're not offering any sort of help to these kids who are being raised by single mothers, even though they're your kids. Just so I can give you some stats, I just want to make sure that we're clear on this. From the single mother category, 90% of homeless kids, single mother. 89% of children admitted to psychiatric hospitals, single mother. 85% of children with behavioral disorder, single mother. 71% of children in substance abuse treatment centers, single mother. 70% in juvenile correction facilities, all forms of child abuse are at least prevalent among homes with both married bio parents by a factor of 8 times or more, meaning that you're 8 times more likely in a single mother home to experience abuses as well. So when you say, oh, these kids can contact me with what? Do they get to contact you and say, hey, gee, dad, mom doesn't take care of me and has strange men who come over and fuck her at night? What do you say to them, bro? Do you do anything to assist these children at all?
So about 2 years ago, the area of Florida I live in had a major hurricane that killed about 200 people on the beach and destroyed the homes of one of my children and his mother's. So they came to stay with me for about 4 months. But
were you having sex with either of them when they came and stayed with you?
I maintain adult relationships with the mothers of my children.
So when your kid's house got shut down for whatever this external reason was, it was nice that you allowed his mom to come stay with you so that you could fuck her, right? Isn't that what you're saying here?
I maintain adult relationships with the mothers of my children indefinitely. So
does that mean you're fucking the mothers of your children? Is that what that means? Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
So they came to stay with you because it's a booty call. So they stayed in your house. You were humping the mom. You don't have to pay a dime, and then they leave. How exactly is this assisting the child?
My kids get to see me whenever they want.
Yeah, how do you assist them, though, through financials, through assisting in their school? For instance, number 2 kid, do you know the name of the school he goes to? Or she?
Yeah, absolutely.
And have you paid a dime towards any of the school tuition, any of the school backpacks, anything like this?
Lots of holiday gifts, birthday gifts, lots of vacations together.
That's not my question. Can you answer the question I asked you?
So what, you mean like $20 for a backpack?
Yeah, I'm asking, do you buy school clothes for them? Are you assisting them with their health care needs? Are they on your insurance? Like, what the fuck are you doing for these kids, bro, that are yours, that you love and care about so much?
So during the day, I do some capital management, and I frequently trade accounts for the mothers of my children. So, on a good week, I make the right trade. A $250,000 split 12 ways. Not too bad.
Okay, you taking money from these women and then doing day trading on their dime again, where you, again, no risk liability to you at all, and you might potentially make them some money, is not supporting your kids. It's risking the money of their mothers, in fact, right? Isn't that what that's actually doing? You're literally risking their mother's money on behalf of some trade you think might work out for you. What is your actual risk here?
I've got to say, this situation has certainly limited my financial liability.
So no risk.
Seems that way.
Yeah, so I don't understand how on the one side of your mouth, and I'll turn this over to my partner here in a second, but I don't understand how on the one side of your mouth you can say, oh, I care so much about these kids. Oh, it's great. I fuck all their moms. But I'll even day trade with their money. I love day trading with their money. And if I lose it all, well, fuck it. I have no liability. No big deal whatsoever. I don't have to pay anything for these children. Meanwhile, I love them so much that I'll leave them inside of a single mother household, right? You're not exactly fighting for custody to get them out of those single mother households. Do I have that correct?
Yeah, I would never attempt to take my child away from their mother.
Yeah, you'd never attempt to mitigate the risk by 90% for homelessness, for instance, 89%, children admitted to psychiatric hospitals. You'd never try to mitigate any of that risk for your biological offspring, right?
Well, hold on now. You mentioned homelessness. Now, I just told you a 22-foot storm surge destroyed my child's home, and I provided them with a home.
No, you provided them with a place where you could fuck their mom.
That's what their mom wants.
Yeah, no, that's not providing a home for a child. That's not what a home for a child is. A home for a child has a mommy and a daddy that love them and are taking good care of them. That's what a home is. A home is not a place where you go for a booty call with a baby daddy. That's not a fucking home, dude. And in what universe do you think that that's a good environment for a kid?
Well, I think that in order to have two happy parents, it's a good idea to have maybe two parents that care for each other and are in love. You don't want fighting in the household. That's never healthy for children.
Okay.
What? So hang on. I'm sorry. I just want to get this right. In order to avoid fighting with the children's mother, you're going to make sure that they stay in a single mother household. Even though you could help, you just choose not to because, well, after all, you have to limit your own personal risk when it comes to dealing with your own fucking children. Do I have that about right? And hearing that, by the way, hearing that out loud, does it make you in any way question the fact that you are probably the biggest fucking scumbag that I've met this year, and I know destiny?
So I would say 95% of all posts that we see on Facebook demand no contact after the deed is done, and the vast majority of women actually want their genetic contribution shipped to them in the mail. They never want to meet the father of the child, and they don't want the child to have the ability to meet the father. And we're talking.
Yeah, but this is not the situation that you're in. The situation that you're in is you go and plow these chicks because you want to fuck them, right? And then they have kids with your genetic material that way, correct? So I don't know why we're obfuscating. I don't know why we're obfuscating away from this issue into other issues that have nothing to do with what you're doing, which is porking women because they pay you money, and then you get to play with more money from them. I guess you get to play with their investments and their savings in order to make good stock trades so you can make yourself more money. I'm not exactly sure how you feel like you're on a hero's arc here. Like, what is it that you're doing? What is this great service you're providing for society other than creating single mother households and people who don't know who their fathers are exactly? At least in the case, for instance, of a person who anonymously is a donor. What happens is the parents are carefully selected from a married couple, right? And then they go and, they get the kid via IVF or something like this. It's a very careful selection for this. In your case, no, you just select, right? Just like, well, yeah, I'll plow you, and there's the baby, and I don't have any financial risk, and I never have to take care of it again, right? Is that right?
Well, hold on now. If the donor's anonymous and the married couple divorces, you've still got a single mother, and then she just can never identify who the father
Yeah,
of the
so
child is.
the thing is, everything's about mitigating risk, right? Not maximizing it. And I would assume that you would understand that you would much rather have a married couple have a child, even under the assumption there's a possibility one day they could divorce, versus here, single mom, lesbian, have a field day. Hope nothing goes wrong with my kid.
Issue number one, the top complaint amongst the donor-conceived community is lack of access to the father, and it has been that way for 20 years.
Yeah, so maybe you should have kids that have access to their fucking father, bro. Do you know what that means, access? Do you think that means that they want you to call them and say, oh, well, happy birthday. I'm sorry that your life's all fucked up because I left you there with a single mom and everything's going to get wrecked and put to shit. But here's the thing. I got to mitigate my risk, Junior. You know how it is. You know how it is, Junior. Sometimes you just got to mitigate that risk a little bit, right? Do you think that that's what the complaint of not having the access to dad is? Is that they don't call enough on your fucking birthday? Or do you think it's daddy taught me how to do everything in life? He taught me logic, he taught me reason, he taught me how to move through life, he taught me about masculinity, he taught me about everything, and he was right there through all of my ups and downs. He financially did a lot of the heavy lifting to get me in a better position than he was ever. That's what access to dad means, bro.
Perhaps one possible solution is we could limit pregnancies to women that are strictly married and deny pregnancies to single women.
Good idea. Why would you think that I would be against such a policy, or at least an incentive? So I wouldn't say that you could just, probably legislate that behavior out, but you could offer massive incentives for women who were married and had children. And I think that that would be good for society. And also, there's another component to this called social shame. Works fantastically well in order to keep women married. And if they were in even the single mom arena, for them to remarry and stay married, I think that that's a great idea. Fantastic idea. When can we get policy moving for that, and policy moving away from having degenerates impregnating women across the United States and Southeast fucking Asia, and then going ahead and gambling with mom's life savings? When can we do that? I'm all for it. Fucking
I'm
long
sorry,
is
but
this
she
gonna
is.
take?
And
Holy
then, of
shit.
course, Andrew, you're one.